I had open for some reason. Okay. Well, if it isn't that time. So, last time on D&D or whatever the hell this is, you all successfully saved Arlen. Yippee! You went and saved him from the mining outpost not too far off of Paradise Peak. Killed a bunch of man-eaters, which you found are like a higher evolved form of a shark, a normalized shark that has been mutated by parasites that infect their blood, cause them to slowly evolve over time, and completely change species, their place in the food chain, become monsters. Reese even went so far as to pull a fully alive and intact parasite out of the body of the what apparently was like the leader of the sharks, the man-eater, excuse me, in perfect condition, which is fucking terrifying that you have that on your person now. But luckily you have a vassal token, so you have to touch it. But you all went back to the island after having a little bit of a debate of what you wanted to do. If you wanted to go and craft the armor, if you wanted to go and immediately solve the marrow problem, and how the sharks felt about it. You got some input. The sharks were pretty chill. As long as you didn't abandon them and try and hide inland, they would just wait. Obviously, they don't have a whole lot of time to wait because they are not technically starving at the moment, but getting pretty close to it as they haven't had a proper meal in a few days. And you all headed back over the lappers, back towards Paradise Peak, and had the funny image of Arlen just like mini Jesus Christ moment hovering over the water if Jesus had a hoverboard. And he just zippity boo bay while Kipley heard some strange voices whispering strange advertisements, bits of information, things about your own party mates. Which luckily you rolled really low in the die, so only lasted an hour, but it could have lasted up to 5 hours, which would have been funny for the beach. As you all landed, you decided to split up the party to do some crucial tasks. Some obviously wanted to stay at the beach, so no one murdered the land sharks, or the land sharks didn't murder anybody. Mustang was the leader of this, as he was one of the only ones that could actually talk to the sharks. um, Mustang decided that he would camp out but go into the city as one of the only non-vassals and go ahead and register the group underneath an official group name so you can take on an official guild job. The first one. Woohoo! Um, but Mammoth staying on the beach. We had Reese, Rictus, and Maeve head over to Ivanborough Smithing to start on the armor, which you all just had to do a few checks, which you did very well on, and managed to turn what probably was about a week's worth of hard labor into 20-ish hours of pure sweat, blood, and tears. Uh, but not before we had a little intro as lying on the beach, completely unaware of your presence until made known by your, large appearance of 16 sharks, and all of you arguing loudly. Pearl was back. Pearl was back from her vacation, lounging on the beach. She hopped in with all of you, had a little bit of conversation, and was going to stay on the beach with Mammoth to make sure everything went all right. She also smoothed it over with the guards, as they know her very well from her previous experiences. Yeah, she held in tight there, and Mustang and Kipley went off to the guild hall, the least chaotic duo, as as you two headed in, grabbed the job. So there wasn't a whole lot of people there, the least surely. There wasn't a whole lot of people there. It was still rather early. And you decided that the name that you were going to go with was the Six. There was a large number of different names that you were going over: the Odd Six, the Wondering Six, the Sublime Six, and many more. But as you went to register, the problem came up very quickly that the one registering wasn't a vassal. And as the kind help desk woman was going over each of your party members, so you can have a written record of who is on the Six, Mustang Strums was listed as EC after Kipley passed a slight intimidation, mostly deception check, um, putting a slight guile on her, thinking that Evelyn Kroll, one of the more commonly mysterious and hidden sponsors, was not allowing this poor little warlock Mustang to say that she is her patron. Excuse me, that she is his patron, and he physically can't utter that he is her vassal. So Kipley said that Evelyn Kroll was Mustang's vassal as well as her own. You gave mostly correct answers for the other ones. Luckily, some history checks were made and you remembered properly, as you almost fucked up two of the other names, but we got there eventually. And the six is now a registered partying band, a little adventurers group of vassals who are now known to the world, at least, well, to those within the guild hall, because you haven't done anything publicly known yet. But you were on your way, and we had a nice little beach trip while the rest of the group slaved away, making sure that everything was gonna turn out right with the armor. No. Oh yeah, no, and surely not gonna have any consequences in the future when we have our sponsor vassal checkups and all that good stuff. But the armor was forged. Maeve got to do firsthand work in crafting her own set of mithril armor, mithril splint mail to be exact. Uh, the enchanting process was aided by Reese, and Rictus, the metal worker of the group, went to town making sure that every bit of armor he could get his hands on would be to an absolute pristine detail. And you all ended up forging the armor on the second day. And afterwards, as we are all coming to the close, those of you at the beach enjoying your little walled off sand fortress where you decide to sleep on the beach, even though you got the disgusting thought of, I believe it was sandworms in your head, and decided to risk it for the biscuit and sleep there anyways. Um, Maeve and the rest of the group decide to sleep back at the manor, where Maeve had a bit of a conversation with Pearl, explaining why Pearl went away, showing off Pearl's new gear as she bought a new set of, I believe, scale mail armor and a tower shield of her own, and very much voiced her opinion that if she's going to be traveling with the group, that she wants Maeve to stick up for both herself and Pearl a bit more when it comes to group decisions, as clearly the first one didn't go too well. You still didn't tell her that you died yet, so she doesn't know exactly how bad it went, but she knows it didn't go great. Um, and you had a little back and forth. You eventually came to the agreement that if Pearl's going to be staying in the group, she also needs to take steps forward to become more friendly, if not uh, easier to handle, as she was well known for causing problems, even if she didn't mean to, and especially when she did mean to with the others. So a little plan was hatched that she would try and talk to Kipley the next morning and extend her hand of friendship. This didn't go too well, as the only thing that went well was the amount of wells listed, and a very awkward bit of information as Kipley got scarred for life and will never be able to comfortably touch Maeve or Pearl's hands again. Uh, but that is where we picked off, as it is now the third day since you got back to Paradise Peak. Oh, and excuse me, one minor detail I forgot. Arlen also invited you to his family home, uh, and gave Rictus a small stone tablet that he said to only open in private, but a small token of gratitude for himself, and said that if any of you ever want to stop by his household, he would gladly have you, and he gave you directions to his house in the Cloud District. Um, but now, all that being said, it is the dawn of a third day. Maeve suited up in her new armor with no negative downsides to stealth, and a whole bunch of AC back in action. What would the party like to do? I believe we were headed off to uh, go immediately deal with the Marrow threat. But if you had anything else that you'd like to do, either in town, anyone that you'd like to talk to beforehand, or
I
anything else, now would definitely be the time.
did want to go see Nordstrom.
Nordstrom, I assume so. Hell yeah. Would you like to go early in the morning before you meet up with the party? Have it be a party thing?
I did want to invite Maeve.
Okay.
Anybody else who wanted to come would be fine too. So maybe invite them at breakfast.
Breakfast
Sure.
before you meet the mad scientist.
They would certainly come along.
That was a beautiful adaptation of a show, for sure. Okay. So Maeve's coming along, Reese is coming along. Anyone else? All right, Dynamic.
Aren't
Oh,
Mustang, Mammoth, and Kipley still on the beach?
you guys were making your way to the beach, as I think we left off as you guys were strolling through town towards it. If you want, you could absolutely be heading that way.
Oh, I thought it was just because we had slept there the night before, or maybe I'm forgetting where we ended last session.
Right.
I might be a little confused.
This is a bit of a DM brain. I think we all
Hmm.
met up at the end. Not sure if that's me
'Cause I thought we
not writing
ended
it
on
down
like
for a week.
everyone doing the rolls, and like you could do like the lower DC or the higher DC, and then have it take not as long. I don't know. Anyone else back me up? Or
I don't
help me
remember.
out
I thought
otherwise?
we ended on the beach. I don't remember though.
Yeah, I'm
I
pretty sure we ended on the beach, and we're all still separated.
That's fine. You guys can absolutely we can start off with all of you being on the beach at the dawn of the third morning, and then Maeve and all of them uh, coming back to town as they come down from the manor. So sure. As Maeve and Reese goes to go see Nordstrom, anyone else doing anything or any little bits at the beach that you want to give out?
Mustang would like to go shopping, so he would have to leave the comfort of the sand wall.
I know.
Hmm.
You wake up and the sand wall is just obliterated. You
Oh,
see small little kids building sandcastles around the general area that you're in, and you see one of them just straight up punched a hole in the wall, and it's a part's just crumpled.
Mustang will burn hotter for just a second. As
Go ahead and give me an intimidation check with advantage.
okay. Well, I got a +6 to that, so these kids are about to be scared. Okay, let's see what's with our advantage. Okay, it's a 24.
24. You see a little dwarven boy, like playing with the sand wall, hits it, drops, sees you on the other side, and you kind of like instinctually flare up as you spent time on that wall. You felt proud of that wall. You felt safe in that wall. And the little boy goes, "Holy shite!" and just goes to run away, falls down on his knees, face plants in the sand, goes and runs again, face plants again, and two of his friends come and start dragging him away like a fucking scene out of war, dragging a like victim who's been shot, just dragging him to the side. You can see the parents off in the distance look a little bit concerned, but don't immediately approach as you dust yourself off with more dust falling off of you, and start heading into town. Hell yeah.
Oh, well, he will invite Kipley or Mammoth if they wish to come.
For sure.
But we could do that after Reese's thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Kipley would just kind of look over to Mammoth. What do you want to do?
I don't care.
You guys want to come with me and meet my sponsor?
Is he nice?
He's strange,
That's accurate.
but he has cool things in his laboratory.
You think I can have some of it?
Probably not. Most of it's dangerous.
I'm gonna ask him.
Oh god, no. Don't bring a child into a lab.
Kipley, you want to come with us?
Actually, I think I might. I think I might stick with Mustang today. If it's unless, do you
what a
need
pleasant
me?
Oh, not at all. I just thought you might find some of the things he has curious.
I feel like I've had enough curiosity for the day.
Fair enough. We'll meet up with you guys later.
Sounds good. Mustang, did you have anywhere in particular you wanted to go?
Didn't so much have a place as some items I was hoping to procure with all this lovely booty we have gotten out on our adventure.
Like, over the
That's-
counter or under the counter type things you're looking for?
I'm hoping over. I mean, typically these things are over. Well, you
Right,
all
yeah.
have those
Yeah.
nice vassal tokens. I do not. So I was hoping to find a bag of perhaps holding of some sort, and maybe a banjo.
I might be able to help. Perhaps, maybe. I might have a good starting point, anyways.
Hey, that's better than what I had. I just had a dream and a vague sense of direction.
All right. Sounds
Uh,
good.
Mustang is all of us, for real, for real. I don't know where I'm going, but I hope I find somewhere. All right, so let's go head on over to Nordstrom. As all of you make your way into the height of the Cloud District, luckily not that deep into it, as his tower is just on the edge of the actual city. You find the Black Spire Wizard's Tower still very much intact. You see smoke billowing out of the chimney, and as you approach the door, as per usual, it automatically opens for Reese. And very much as in the same sense when Mammoth and Maeve went to go visit Layla, you quickly learn that those who are not associated with Nordstrom have to walk in first, otherwise the door will just slam shut in your face, as it does not recognize any of you. But eventually, after enough door slamming, you make your way up back to the top of the tower. We see the lab is currently not in use, but you do see Nordstrom is standing in the middle of the room, kind of looking slightly up, and is facing away from the door as you enter.
I knock like on the door frame as I walk by and just take a few steps into the room.
You knock and you just hear a little bit of snoring, and you walk around to the other side of the room and you see that he is sleeping standing up.
She just sort of like rocks back and forth on her heels a couple of times, like snapping her fingers, a little weirded out. Nordstrom?
No response.
She, like pinches his shoulder.
Sure. Definitely counts as an action to wake him up. You hear my deal so made of therefore as he begins talking in a language you don't understand. And rubbing the bridge of his nose. My dear, what oh, I'm sincerely sorry, we have guests. Welcome, please, let me pull up a C and realize there's only two chairs in the lab. I can fuse them together to make a bench if you like.
You
I
don't
don't
have to worry
normally
about it. I'll
have.
stand. This is Maeve. She's a companion of mine.
He extends a hand quickly over to you. It's a pleasure. You are Druckhart's vessel, no?
Yes, sir. And
Pleasure to
she'll
meet you.
extend a hand, and shake his.
Gives you a firm handshake, and you see, like, you could feel the handshake does not, like, doesn't hurt, but it doesn't feel like a normal human grasp. Feels very much of, actually, no, yeah, you were not inside the creatures, but you did get hit by it. The constructs that you fought originally back in the village. It feels very much like touching one of those. Not human flesh, not too strong, but strong. As he kind of pulls away and looks around. What the? I of course happy to see you. Did you have anything in particular for stopping by, or?
I harvested, I believe, an alien parasite.
Ooh.
And you know, I actually did a pretty good job. It's in good shape, and I thought you might want to take a look at it.
You
Add to your
see a little bit of
curiosity.
drool begins to form at the edge of his mouth. Parasite, you say? By the way, how is what did you name him again?
Minion? No, Oliver.
Oliver. Yes. How is the bone not demon? Oh, excuse me. No, parasite treating you?
You just see like her face get a little bit concerned there when he says demon.
No, no. Sorry. Harvested from a demon, no doubt. But no longer alive.
Oliver's been very helpful. We've been having a fairly good time together.
It is good to hear. Very happy to hear that. I was a little bit worried since he hasn't been properly field tested yet, but you seem to be alive. You seem to be doing well. Very well. Oh, I can, depending on the last time that you fed him, and he looks around the lab, I'm sure you have some extra brains here, if you'd like to have a bite. Or if
Yeah,
you'd like to have a bite.
actually, I would take some.
They're not like the finest quality, unfortunately. The only ones I have on hand is rat or chicken.
Oliver? She kind of says inside of her head.
Yeah, I really don't have a preference, but well, if I did, it'd say both. But it's up to you, really. I can do with one or the other. Brains is brains.
Well, I feel like chicken is at least more. I'll take both. Nordstrom, if you could spare.
It is a, I mean, it's a chicken and a rat brain. I can spare plenty. Um, one was breakfast and the other was curiosity. And he goes and pulls out two little small jars that's filled with a little bit of liquid, and inside is just a floating brain in each, and kind of slides it your way across the table. Please, in the meantime, this parasite, I, I am overjoyed, but where did you find it? Details as much as possible. Please explain.
We were out on an island and we came across man-eaters,
Oh.
which were shark variations.
I'm well aware. Evolution is something that is rare in the natural environment. Ever since the
And
arcane detonation, they've become more common, but still rare.
there seemed to be a larger, more intelligent one that was sort of the boss out of the group. And I mean, of course, I had to pick that one. And I extracted it. Didn't expect it to come out in the condition that it did, but we had a good time of it. And I put him in my vassal token. He's alive. I
E.
didn't put minion in there with him because I was a little concerned about
Yeah,
that
no, it's not
transgression.
something that you want to. You don't want to put the parasite next to a living or dead creature, depending. We don't know what it does yet. Um, you said he though. Is it? Did you confirm intelligence? Is it a living? Did it talk to you? Conversation?
You know, I was in bone form with Oliver and unconscious a couple times, so I don't even remember if he was speaking. But you have some tongs? We can pull them out of my token.
I have gloves. Actually, I have, I don't have tongs, but I have, I'll see what I can do. He reaches around. You see, he just pulls out like two straight metal rods. It looks like they're more like for insertion into something, like some sort of piece or bigger
What?
contraption. Hey, different rods. Um, and you see he takes them in both hands, gloves up his hands, and like the massive like forge gloves that you wear, just like heavy like leather gauntlets, and pulls them out. And it looks very much like a dad taking like some really hot bit of meat out of the oven, and goes, "All right, open up the vessel ship token very slowly, just in case it is alive and moves."
And she takes it out and she puts it on top of the table
All right.
and opens it slowly.
And you see the second that you open it, he like lunges with a speed that you wasn't expecting, jams the two like ends of the metal rods in, and
Oh,
then
be
whips
careful.
out
Oh,
and holds the parasite, which is squirming, by the way. It is very much alive, and looks like it is very much trying to sense out its new environment. As you see tentacles and small little bits of gel begin to go flying all across the room, and in like a general 5 foot radius, the thing is just thrashing about at whatever it can get. It goes, oh, we have a kicker, and put. God damn it, Jared! And he slams it down onto the table and begins to take looks to be a large empty glass container and slams it over it. You see a tentacle kind of gets cut off while he does it and begins to squirm and wither away. But the main body of the parasite is contained. And you see he looks at it and his eyes are just alight. You've shown him things in the past, and you've talked about necromancy with him, about a number of interesting topics. This is like the most excited you've ever seen him. He's like a kid in a candy store.
Reese is just smiling and watching him.
You see, he takes his hand, kind of puts it against the glass, and you watch as the parasite takes one of its tentacles and puts it on the opposite side, almost looking like it's trying to dig into the flesh. It is astounding. And where was this man-eater? Off the coast? In the
Maeve.
ocean?
It was on the island. What was the island called, Maeve?
What was the island called, DM?
Let me look up the mining outpost. I don't remember if I actually gave you the name of the island or not. Scroll back. Jesus Christ, I wrote down a lot of the RP. Yeah, no, I just marked down as mining outpost. So you were never given a name of the island. You know where the island is. But it is an abandoned mining outpost that is not a big enough island to have a name per se.
I sort of just described where we went, and there was
You have a map of the exact location of it.
Do I have the map?
Maeve does. She's
Oh,
with you.
perfect.
Maeve will pull up the map and show him where the island is.
There
Okay,
was
so
also a
close.
large crater that I believe this thing had fallen and created.
Fallen.
It was a large crater.
Oh, it is juicy. It is very juicy.
And we dispatched the rest of the man-eaters that were in the area when we were.
Wonderful. Good. Did you notice anything strange when traveling around the island? Portals, a strange fluctuation of magic, enemies, a strange gut feeling like something was watching, like something big was just there, a feeling of off-putting, anxiety, stress, anything of the sort.
Did I make a history check?
Not
Remember the recent
yeah.
past?
You don't have to make a history check. Not particularly. um, but you go ahead and make me an Arcana check to see if you can try and pick up on what he's trying to put down.
Okay.
$15.
I took a D4 on that.
17. Okay. Yeah. 17. You have an inkling. It sounds like he's trying to address whether this is a recent occurrence of potentially like planar tampering, as if a portal or a circle of magical teleportation was opened from a different plane recently, because that would be a very big sign. And you do remember one of the quests that was on the board listed was a scouting mission for a portal that was um, pretty similar to what the conditions he just described is like basic planar travel. So if it was confirmed in one of the jobs listed, he's trying to see if this was that portal or something else. But none of the conditions really line up, so
Mm-hmm.
it's looking like a no.
Well, I relayed that information to him. They were particularly sensitive to the scent of blood, being sharks as they were.
Mm.
They kind of ambushed us, but
That is
the
more of a
group,
man-eater thing, but
yeah, the group that we ended up with, we handled it well.
Yes.
You said you'd like interesting stuff, and when I
Oh, I am more than pleased. We'll get to payment in a second. Do you want to help me interrogate this?
I would love to.
How about you, my new friend?
Reese
Gestures towards
smiles like
Maeve.
just huge at Maeve and just nods her head like frantically.
Sure, that could be fun.
Good. It is very fun. Hey, not at first. Actually, the first time it can be traumatizing. But the more you do it, the more the barrier breaks between the worlds that you are about to travel into. Please, pull up a chair. And you see he pulls up the two wooden chairs for you two, and begins taking out what looks like a strange assortment of hats. Um, and you see he puts what looks like a tube on one end of the glass, and then puts one pointing towards one chair and points towards the other. He goes, "Please have a seat." There are many different ways to communicate in this world. Some verbal language, some written, some unspoken. Through the mind, perhaps. Some through the soul. But the one that I like to enter the most is a direct channel from one brain to another.
Sounds dangerous. Would
Hey, you'll be fine.
Oliver get in the way at all, or are we good with him in my bones?
Hey, bones, brains, two different things. You won't even know that all of it is there. If you do, though, please let me know for scientific research so I can write that down. But that is not the point of now. The point of now is you are about to communicate with a potential being not of this world. And of course, I will join you, but I'm gonna do it a little, differently. This is technically safer than what I'm about to perform, so if I happen to be doing that standing still thing where I just kind of drooling out of my mouth, just shake me awake and I should be fine.
Reese leans into Maeve. I should have invited Rictus.
Uh, oh, I okay. I don't like like in place of me or just
No, together. I thought you would be not necessarily that curious about this, but it is important information, and I think you like that.
I do enjoy being in the loop about things.
Well, if you want to be in the loop, then have a seat.
Yes. Maeve will sit down and kind of do the thing where she basically sits in the chair but leans forward and has the tower shield kind of posted as a pillar of stability.
Sure. And as Reese sits in the other, he takes the two caps and puts it on your head. Now you're going to feel a slight shock. That is not a sign of you beginning the transmission. That is just the machine connecting directly to your nervous system. It will not physically harm you beyond the point of repair, but it might feel a little tingly at first. Just don't fight it. Any damage you cause to the machine, or you flang about, or you cause any, rapid movements, it could physically damage you permanently forever. Understood? Be careful.
Mhm.
All right, any questions, comments,
This,
concerns?
this is seeming like less of a good idea the more I let you explain it.
Well, I am done explaining it then. All right. And he puts on the seal at the end, which is literally just him tying a belt around the end of it and securing it directly to your head and very uncomfortably tight to it. Um, he does have to take off the helm and the armor for that. And as both Reese and Maeve are connected and hooked up, you see he begins to tamper with a few different levers on the opposite side of the laboratory, runs back over like a madman, skids to a stop right before the machine, and then begins to mutter a few arcane words as he begins to cast. I don't think either of you familiar with the spell. Nope. Neither of you have it, nor is it in your skill trees. It gets cast some sort of spell, and after a few moments, you can feel this initial jolt enter both of your systems. Go ahead and make Constitution saving throws from both of you.
Uh,
Not great.
12.
Not great.
And
You said Constitution?
yes, sir. 12 of 12. Wow, that is convenient. Both of you go ahead and give me a 1d4. Free. If you get a free as well, that's just hilarious. Will into existence, will into existence. Come on.
Oh.
Maeve, you
Jinx
take
it.
1 point of lightning damage. Reese, you take 3 points. As the initial jolt is a little bit harder than he initially explained. He very much sugarcoated it, at least what you initially think. As you can feel your teeth clench, you have to instinctively pull your tongue back so you don't bite it. As you kind of slam down instinctively, your body's jolt. You can feel your legs and your arms moving uncontrollably, and your eyes begin to almost roll back in your head before you squeeze them shut, just trying to preserve whatever you can as it feels like your entire body's being attacked at once. And then both of you immediately go unconscious. And as
No
you
time to say
enter the
anything.
unconscious state, you both feel something that you've never had before. Two voices inside of one head. As Maeve, what's the initial thoughts that you are thinking once this happens to you?
This is
Could be-
strange. I don't know if any of this is good. Uh, my anxiety may be worse than this, or I may be wrong. Fuck.
You hear that verbatim in your head, Reese. And anything that Reese would immediately think is the jolt goes through her body.
Oh,
A much more tame reaction. Maeve, I don't know if I should have done this. This is a bad idea, but it's an idea. Oh, that tickled.
he is
Um,
full excitement.
And you both hear a third voice going, I am here too. As you don't like feel the full presence of Nordstrom, but you can definitely tell that you are being at least overheard in this moment. And as both of you in this unconscious state begin to materialize, you can see almost in your mind's eye mini versions of yourself floating out of your body and hovering over the glass.
Huh.
And as you look at each other, you can both fully observe. You can see each other. You see Maeve in a mini set of armor, Reese with a mini bone hand, and both of you are tiny sized,
Hmm.
incorporeal, little, almost looks like to be ghosts. You're not quite sure exactly what extent this is, but the majority of the room is completely pitched out dark for you, and the only things that you can see is yourselves, each other, and the glowing brain and the other glowing brain of Nordstrom. As you can see, not quite his body, but you can see that there's a mind present with you, as everything except for intelligent life and thought is canceled out. You hear, "Are you two ready?
Yes.
I've made both of your forms, and partially mine, incorporeal. You are now in a state of ethereal drift, which means you can basically do whatever you want, as you cannot impact the real world. So you can safely go inside and talk to whatever this is, and I will be able to listen in and guide you."
She moves forward like without hesitation.
Mini Reese just whee! And as you approach the glass, you just go right through it, as if nothing was even there. And Maeve, do you follow?
Maeve approaches with severely more caution, uh, and just like touches to see what the sensation is like, and make
It
sure that she's not forfeiting her soul here.
when you go to like tap the glass, it almost feels like you're sticking your hand in static. It's like McDonald's spray, but you're going through it.
The McDonald's Sprite is acid. I don't know. I want to dip through acid here. Yeah.
Tingly, can't quite put a taste and/or feeling to it, but you know exactly what I'm talking about.
She's gonna go in and just be thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna regret this.
And as both of you enter, you immediately feel the presence of this parasite immediately be turned towards both of you as you touch down and look up at this thing. And now you're both tiny sized. This is a not quite a medium sized creature, but is a small creature. So it looks gigantic to both of you. And is very much corporeal opposed to your incorporeal forms. And you immediately hear, Jared, what the fuck was that? What? Nah. Not on DMing. I can't be
Hey,
that distracted.
I do what I do, you know.
But that is a blessing. As both of you touch down, you can feel the presence be torrent. I don't know why I said that all of a sudden. Torrent towards you. And you feel a voice enter both of your heads. What are you? I can sense, but I cannot see.
I am a species of fish creature. Fish humanoid sort of subspecies of elven descent. And
Dalkin.
yes. I
And
think you know the word.
What are you? Other one.
You can't see. You should go to like an optometrist. Is that the eye doctor?
I could see you.
All right. That's oh.
Could,
That's
but then you
good.
vanished, and I don't know where you went, but I can sense your presences nonetheless. And you can see the tentacles, almost like looking out for information, begin to dance around the glass, trying to find wherever your voices are coming from. And you see one tentacle does pass by you, and it does just go straight through you.
I am me. I feel like the more you know, the more dangerous you might become.
No. I want to know what I am addressing. Different lives have different intellects. The Vidalcan, much more intellectual than other species. So perhaps you are not worthy of having conversation with. Turns its direction towards Reese.
I chose to bring her with. I wouldn't have done so if I didn't think she could keep up.
Oh.
Where am I? Who are you? Why am I here?
The body that you were possessing at the time attempted to kill me and my friends, and I extracted you from that body. We referred.
Man-eater.
Yes.
I remember. Nasty creature. Was the only life form around. Ate me. Digested me. Nearly killed me before I could take over.
So you didn't choose to inhabit and take his body?
You hear like a psychic spit sound. Never would I choose such low life. But I can tell. You're different. You have been touched by others from afar, just as I have.
Yeah, my body's already being inhabited by another creature. I'm not okay.
No. Not the worm that wriggles in your skull. Something else.
You
I
mean
can
my
tell.
awoken state?
I don't know if that is the term that is similar to my own. But yes, you are different than the other humanoids I have seen.
And you would be different to the people or creatures of your plane of existence?
I assure you, there is no other me.
So why are you here?
That is a good question. I was hoping you could answer that.
We simply found the crater that I believe you fell into and the man-eater that you possessed. But I do have a group of companions in the same awoken state as I that could help figure it out if that is something that you desire.
What plane are we on?
Shit.
You know, the normal plane and or the current plane that you are on is the prime material plane.
Oh, that would make sense. Yeah. Prime material plane. Which do you come from?
I was born from the sea of stars. I saw life itself be brought into existence and snuffed out in the same.
And so you are as old as time.
Different species, different measurements.
Hmm.
I myself has lost track of what you call time.
Why do you continue to exist?
Purpose, unsure. I have been drifting as long as I can remember, latching from host to host.
So you just have a primal instinct to survive and no decision or process to do otherwise?
Not exactly. It's hard to think without a mind to amplify my own. This dull form that you see before you is incomplete. I
So if you
need my original body, my original host.
who's your original host? What is your original host?
Not who, but what. And you get a mind reaching out to yours, trying to share something. You can choose to resist if you wish, or you can choose to open your mind to it briefly.
Open my mind to it briefly.
Maeve.
Yeah, for the brief.
Sure. For the brief. In and out. Both of you get visions, rapid images flashing through your mind, almost like a slideshow on 10 times speed. You can see the astral sea. You can see this creature, this being, whatever it is, hurling through astral space without any actual way to navigate itself. You see it passing by all different sorts of abominations. You see a drifting eyeball the size of what would be a boulder pass by it as it attacks a strange, almost floating leviathan. You see cities with no lights flying for the distance on floating rocks. You see strange peoples of different, what looks like to be slightly greenish skin, staring and observing at this as it passes by them. Lands that you cannot even begin to fathom. And then you see it. A core. You sense that this is what this creature calls home. Its original host body. A large purple glowing gem. Strange, but similar looking roots, if not tentacles at the bottom, branching outward. And you sense that its place, its home is in this thing's core. Go ahead and post that. In-game visuals. And as soon as you see the core and understand what it means to this creature, it pulls itself back out, and your minds are your own once more.
She takes like a few breaths of meditation as she processes the onslaught of information that she just saw. You have a vast knowledge of the planes, don't you?
Very much so. I have seen things beyond your comprehension.
I understand.
Empires have fallen before me. I've seen devils. I've seen demons. I've seen it all.
Did your host, your core host, fall with you onto the
Taken,
material plane?
not fell, taken. And you can feel extreme amount of anger and psychic waves coming off of this thing that would or could have been harmful. And you feel a secondary presence of Nordstrom intervene as you can feel him blocked out by a protective shell of magic around both of you. Out of character is known as Intellect Fortress.
Intellect which?
Intellect Fortress. Dual cast
Nice.
on both of you. My core, I cannot be whole without it.
Or do you mean a danger?
Taken.
Are you a danger to our plane with a core?
I do not intervene with mortals very often. I observe, I watch. I only take action if those who would seek action upon me find me first.
Does your core exude any type of energy that could be used to track or find it?
It is not of this world. It is from my home, resonating with the energy of the astral plane. I am sure the one who is allowing you to converse with me knows and or can tell you of ways to find it. But you must know the longer that I am without it, and the longer that I remain in this plane, I will very quickly wither and die without a host. I require intelligent life.
If you had a temporary host, it would extend your life for us to find your core?
Yes, exactly.
What kind of repercussions would that host expect from a being such as yourself inhabiting their body?
That depends on the intelligence of the creature.
Hmm.
I cause whatever creature I enter to reach its maximum potential. Whatever it was previously is no more. It becomes stronger, faster, smarter. And
Hey, quick
I...
one.
Oh,
Okay. No, please go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, and I am the one who causes all of this and much more. That's all. What's up?
Quick reminder, Reese. Just someone that doesn't have a parasite here. The parasite, just as a word, very important word here. If I'm not mistaken, aren't they like generally not good? Like a parasitic relationship. That's typically not a super good one. Just, you know,
I would like to remind you, Maeve, that I do not already have a parasite. What I have is a symbiote.
Two
fair.
very different things.
Okay, why this doesn't sound like a good thing. The lure of power, very very captivating. You know, the making people and things stronger by sharing their body, and you know that's pretty tight, and that's cool and everything. But you know, maybe the cost isn't worth it. Just
You don't know what the cost is, if there even is a cost.
Is there something that we can call you?
And you sense general frustration as it seems like it's looking for an answer, but it cannot find it.
I understand that being not being from the material plane that you probably don't operate in names such as we do. So
No,
specifically,
I've had much time to think to myself while drifting. I did once have a name.
what if I referred to you as Nova, given your color scheme and where you come from?
Named by others, not to my liking.
I don't mean any disrespect. I just find it easier to converse with someone that I can address them by, especially in the case where there's many of us in the atmosphere.
What is the first letter of your alphabet?
A. As in astral plane.
The first is the most important. You
So how
may
about
call me A for now.
A? A it is. I know a J too.
Like
There.
me?
No. Is J not the most important?
Disappointing. But let me ask you this. Turns its attention towards Maeve. The man-eater that you encountered, did it seem to be struggling, sickly, weak, dying, diseased? Did my host seem to have any weakness?
See, I'm not doubting that you will do as you say and that you will strengthen your host. You know, I feel like you're good for something, or else you wouldn't have lived or survived as long as you have. Parasites, uh, you're typically good at a thing. My
You are bold to call me a parasite.
I mean, do you need a host?
I need a core.
Hmm.
My own core is gone. So yes, for the moment I need another. But I don't rely on you flesh bags.
So, I mean, not very far off here about you being in Paris. It may seem demeaning to you. Doesn't
No,
make it any
let me
less.
explain something, child.
Okay.
If you are in a sea of raging waters and you cannot breathe, would it not be fortuitous to put yourself within something that can?
Yeah, see, but here's the thing. Like, I can still exist and be me without, needing it.
And
It'll be
I could do that in
uncomfortable.
the astral plane where I am not right now.
Well, it sounds like shit for you.
How would
Um,
you hold on, Meg.
Can you go ahead and give me a intelligence saving throw with advantage?
Gang, gang. It's gonna be a solid fucking.
Just Maeve.
Just Maeve.
Yeah, she's she's being a dick right now. It's
Oh,
16.
sure.
Yeah.
16? Okay. Can you just go ahead and roll me for 3d6?
Yeah, cool. That is 12.
12. Take 6 points of psychic damage, and you don't suffer any adverse effects. But you do feel this thing was meaning to do something else, as this is like for a semi-intelligent being, like this was not a like strategic move. This was just rage for you insulting it directly.
And as she feels that happen, she kind of smiles and looks towards fucking Reese. And she says, "Hey, Reese, I think your friend has bad temperament. They anger very easily."
You're
Um,
insulting a multi-dimensional, extremely intelligent and old creature. I don't know what else you would have expected. Take your
No.
grandfather, for example. I stood in his presence for a moment and he spat at me.
Yeah, see, I'm not saying that Granddad is any better, but if this entity gets in you and may have a bit more control and is super volatile, it's not for the best. But hey, we're adults here. You make your decisions with your body and who you want to relinquish control to. Just want to, be a bit of a, ironically, devil's advocate.
Reese looks back to the A. How long would you have without a form? If you, even without the perception of our time, would you be able to answer that question?
Allow me a brief moment to peer into your mind so
I
I
could,
can understand the basic concepts that you refer to.
And as he like looks in, she gives him like a images of like a calendar and an apple on a table, and watches like the degradation process of like an apple, which she like communicates this as like a basic type of food for
Nice.
consumption.
Okay.
So you can kind of see how long it would take to rot.
And you give a few different images, and eventually you hear it go.
As I understand, 4 months' time, I will be dead. Maybe less if conditions worse.
My friend here is concerned for my well-being and my readiness to accept otherworldly beings into my body. I'm not at that point yet. I'm probably not even at the intelligence level in which you'd rather inhabit. But I am interested in helping you find your core and moving you from our world back to your plane.
You already have something that has claimed you. I cannot enter your body, nor your friends.
It's probably best.
I need something, someone untouched, weak, easy to combine with, assimilate with. I don't want no motherfucking roommates, it's true.
Is there any other information I should have regarding you, your existence here with us before I communicate with my mentor?
Something that is wanted by creatures all over the universe. I can give it to you. To all of you. Knowledge. For something to understand what it is, it must be told what it is by others. I know what you are. I know who made you what you are. And I know you have no idea how you all became what you are today. Not him. Gestures, and you can see one of the tentacles gestures up towards Nordstrom's body, which is still like drooling and unconscious. Not you, points at Maeve, and certainly not you. Your species may be advanced, but you still lack answers that I can give. Find me a host. Bring it to me. Allow me to assimilate them until I can find my own core. And I will give you these answers in exchange. I can tell you what you are.
Sits there quiet for a moment.
Do
Taking in
we
the
have a
implications.
deal?
We have a deal.
Good. Bring me a host. Soon. You have until tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll find someone else who's willing to help me.
For some creature that's lost track of time, you sure make a short timeline.
You know I can live longer than what I gave you as a timeline. If you get sloppy, I'm stuck in this jar for longer than I wish. So if we're to make a deal, it's going to be in my favor.
I'll do what I can.
Good.
And remember, I'm the one that successfully extracted you from the man-eater.
And for that you have my thanks for not nicking me on my way out. Now go, find me a host and return. You have until sundown tomorrow.
And you can feel the mental connection beginning to breach. If you have any final things that you'd like to say, do, or try, now would be the time for anyone.
She's good. She just sort of looks over at Maeve and gives her like really big eyebrows up.
Yeah, Maeve is good to go. She's since the thing, she's just kind of been watching.
All right. As the severed connection begins to pull apart, you see the limp body of Nordstrom, which looks like a massive giant to you now, kind of slowly begin to get out of its haze, look towards the jar. And as he makes eye contact with both of you, you feel your minds begin to reel back the small incorporeal figures that now make up your mind's eye get shoved back into your bodies, and both of you awake in a jolt as you are back in your own form, and briefly stunned for a minute as both of you come out and can't move your bodies. Your mind works perfectly, but your bodies are just stuck to the chair arms kind of grasping the sides. You can feel the hold of the tower shield tighten to the point where you hear a slight creak of the metal. And Nordstrom walks over, takes the two tubes off of your heads, and removes the jar of the parasite from the table and puts it on a different counter away from you guys. And 60 seconds later, you take a deep breath, and you can feel yourselves back in your own body with full functionality.
Nordstrom, that was amazing.
It was fascinating. So
He was
it wishes
incredible.
for a host.
Mm.
I have not heard of any creatures like this before. At least if it is telling the truth, it does not have any downsides to being within a host. Perhaps it does take full control, perhaps it doesn't, but evolution of one's body, quite an interesting concept. I have the strong feeling that it means it does not want an awakened host, however.
I understood that. Yeah.
I wonder why. There could be a number of reasons.
Complications between the power, the existence of his
But
coinciding
what
amongst.
power is... That is the question that I was about to bring up. What power is stopping him from wanting a stronger body? Stronger mind? Bodies that are capable of doing things others can't?
Think of it as like a poor chemical reaction, perhaps something that doesn't bind to the other. Maybe he can't host in one because of it.
I would like to try and do tests, but I doubt I'm going to find any willing applicants for this.
Yeah, I didn't really talk to him about it either. I don't know if A would like to be tested on.
Not as much as whether he would like to or not, but I meant awakened humanoids that'd be willing to sign up for this. I'm sure he wouldn't mind hopping into a host.
Hmm.
But, I mean, this seems to be a deeper route than I am to follow. As much as I am interested in the creature and I would be happy to study him, I am not one that can simply throw away my duties to Paradise Peak and go on a trip to the astral plane.
Can you keep him safe until we find a suitable host?
And
He
what
said he's
host do you think would be suitable for this creature?
probably gonna look into it, think on it.
I just want you to remember and think about this very carefully. It very much sounds like he's talking about he wants a normal humanoid.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he's willing to settle or not for something lesser, that is up to him and whatever you bring him, but... Well, if you find someone crazy enough to do that... He just kind of stops and thinks to himself. Well, definitely be a friend of mine, but... You know what I'm saying. Think of the implications of what these creatures asking for.
I should have asked him about more about the host's state.
Yes, I cannot do that again today.
Oh no, it's okay. I'm aware.
Two very high level spells.
Well, we're going to be venturing a bit today. I got sundown tomorrow, he says, for a host. He says he's going to find somebody else if I don't find him a host. I'm not exactly sure what that implies. He's just a blob in a jar right now.
Perhaps he has greater capabilities than what he is currently showing. I will
Yeah,
find a better containment for his creature until we do find out more about him.
it's a good plan.
But I do very much appreciate you bringing this to me. It is beyond fascinating. And I did mention rewards for these things.
And he kind of sits down in a rolly chair and pushes himself across the room where he ends up at a desk drawer. You can see he slides a few different runes in order. And the desk drawer pops open, and he takes a sack of gold and lobs it over his shoulder towards you. Go ahead and make me a dexterity check. Called DC 10. Wow. I love how whenever I give a DC, I say it as you roll, and it pops up perfect timing, no matter who it is. It's great. Exactly 10. You just managed to catch it as it almost goes over your head. It's a rather heavy sack, so you almost have to lean back in the chair. And just keep on your legs without it tipping over. Uh, and as you look into the bag and begin counting, um, for short-term sake, it is 250 gold.
Mm-mm.
Now, don't expect this every single time you bring me something interesting, but this is perfect research.
I
Undamaged goods, creature that is intelligent from another plane. This is the least I can do.
I don't really do it for the money, although this could help.
If it helps
She's
keep you alive and to make sure you keep bringing me other things, price is but a. How do they say it these days? Nothing but a thing. Is that right? I don't really keep up with your lingo.
she shrugs her shoulder. It's over my head.
Looks towards Maeve.
Um, that nothing but a thing finishes a very grotesque statement in this current society.
Oh.
So I don't know.
Well, never mind.
Thank
Price
you
is
for
not a
your
worry.
time, Nordstrom.
Of course, thank you for this wonderful gift. But do let me know if you don't wish to give this a host and you wish for me to look into it other ways. 4 months, I can accomplish quite a lot.
There was one other question I had for you just while I was here.
But of
You'd
course,
mentioned a little while back in reference to Minion and the spirits that inhabit his body. A friend or an acquaintance that you know that would be able to better assist me in such
yes.
matters. You know where I'm able to find him these days?
They were in town, but unfortunately they should have already left if my schedule is correct.
Yeah, I thought you had said maybe a couple days.
They may not have gone far, but you would
Did
be
you?
looking for a human-looking woman, a nose ring going over her nose, uh, half white, half kind of orangish, reddish hair. Goes by the name Evelyn Gray. She is not exactly the most, you know, expertise in spiritual occult things, but she is a storyteller and she has heard many different whispers, both from this plane and the next, about spirits and their various deeds.
I appreciate it.
Of course,
Mm,
if you
look
do
into
find
that.
her, give her my greetings. I didn't have the time to, unfortunately, meet up with her because I've been rather busy, but I'd like to keep friendly with friends just to make sure, you know, in times of need, allies will always be there. Anyway, I'm rambling off. Have a good adventure, whatever you're going on.
Yeah, we picked up our first vassal contract.
Oh, wonderful. I thought by now you already taken another one or two, but your first one, good luck.
Just scratches the back of her head. We've been a bit busy.
Understandable. I hope you return in one piece or bring other pieces for further inspection.
She smiles and nods her head and goes over to Maeve. Sorry for dragging you into this.
No, it's fine. Uh, despite my performance, I'd much rather be prepared and know these things than to be in the dark about them.
I had a feeling it would have been a lot of information to relay to you, and at least it'll be easier to communicate with the group with more than one of us knowing. Let's go find the others.
All right.
So,
As you head off, we'll quickly fly over to the shopping trip. Mustang, and I believe Kipley. What we looking for? What we doing?
Well, Mustang, he's looking for the bag of holding and potentially a banjo, if banjos are a thing. But Kipley says she knows a place. He's kind of following her lead right now.
Okay. Where's Kipley taking her?
Kiffy's gonna take her to Vince's shop.
Cool. Where would that be exactly?
Where she remembers him telling her it was.
Mm.
Mm.
Go ahead and
All
make me a
right.
history check, Kipley.
Eek.
13. That's enough. It's recent. Um, Vince the Prince, or Vince's Princes for his shop name, was actually not a shop that you remember, as this was brought up during your conversation with him a number of different times. Once when you first met him, and again when you met him at the bar. It's not a real shop. He is the shop. He's traveling with goods, but he does not have a physical location. So if you'd like to buy something from Vince, you need to find Vince.
So she'll just kind of lead Mustang down the streets a bit, kind of looking back and forth. And you see her just kind of pause for a moment, look about a little confused. Right, yeah, no. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Can I insight this to see if he can figure out if she knows where she's going or not?
Sure. Go for it.
19.
If you like, you can roll a deception check, Kipley.
Ugh.
So, at first, you're unsure, Mustang, excuse me. As you begin walking down the street, she, like, strongly begins to lead you in a direction that looks like it's headed towards the Cod District, and then immediately changes, begins going to the opposite side of town, and then she just kind of stares at an alleyway for about 5 minutes as she begins to process all of her thoughts, remembering that Vince's is an actual shop, going for all that. You have a strong feeling that she is not at all remembering and or knowing where she has to go.
Okay. Well then, once we get to this point where he's been kind of on this goose chase for a while, he's gonna stop her and be like, "Kipley, do you know where we're going?"
Mm-hmm.
And where are we going?
She kind of mutters to herself a bit as she kind of looks back and forth, and then is this way over? No, yep, that way, right there, right over there. She's just gonna point to the first shop she sees.
It's a bakery.
There. You're looking for baked goods?
Oh,
You
God.
see, Mustang's he's gonna put his face in his hand and be like, you know, Kipley, it's all right if you don't know where we're going. Just don't give it to me in the neck right now. I'd really like to find what I'm looking for. And if you want to stop for a pastry, that's fine.
I don't want a pastry.
Okay, okay. I get it. You don't have to say the rest. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Let's maybe. And he's gonna look around to kind of see what part of town they're in. Like, are they in the shady side? Like, could they ask someone for directions? Or
I'm gonna say since Skip was trying to find Vince specifically, you are in the slightly more shady side. You're not like all the
yeah,
way where like Darren's Crossing was, but you're kind of close.
I should have got the card from Mammoth.
Should have.
we got this, Kipley. Don't worry. Let's put our thinking caps on, and then he'll take his hat off his head and then put it back on, and we can find something ourselves. And can we make like an investigation check to like see what's around?
So I will say before you do that, you do know one place that for sure will have a bag of holding.
Oh boy.
Kipley does.
Oh. Still oh boy.
It... Oh, I know.
You did just visit a magic shop in the Cloud District.
Let's go to the magic shop in the Cloud District.
Mm-hmm. What's that name of that magic shop in the Cloud District?
The one in the Cloud District.
Mm-hmm.
The magic one.
It's recent enough that I'll just give it to you. It's Bellavos's Hall of Wonders.
What? You see her like listening to something off to the side, and she's like, "What? No, that's not the name of it. No, that's a stupid name." But she
Kipley's
looks.
nose starts bleeding.
All right. I. Okay. I'm sorry. And she kind of takes you by the hand and starts scurrying through town, leading us back through to the Cloud District.
Sure. You make your way to Bellavos's. It takes roughly about 20, 30 minutes to get all the way across town, but once you do, you find yourself sitting at the rather slim, small-looking shop. Um, Interior has a few items missing from the display case, but you see replacements coming soon. A little sign that says replacements coming soon, excuse me. Um, and you do see the side of the wall right next to the building that had a bunch of flyers posted up, but you do see one poster is missing still from where Mammoth tore it down. Um, the Bunch of Huckins poster. And as you enter, you hear the little bell ding. And you see the rather plump looking Dampier gaze up at you two as he was reading a book and goes, "Welcome, my friends. I knew you would be back soon. What is it that your heart desires that the Bellavos can provide?"
Ugh.
Just a bit
Mustang's
of
gonna
Yes.
lean down
visible disgust.
to Kipley, and he doesn't have the same expression on his face as Kipley, but he's gonna whisper to her, "What is this guy's deal?"
Ah.
My deal is I am Bellavos of Bellavos'
Whoa!
Hall of
I'm
Wonders.
sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for you to hear
It is
that, but
best not to whisper within the magician's earshot.
okay. Well, I'll
Bellavos.
ask you to your face then. What's your deal?
What do you mean what my deal is?
I don't know. You're just.
Elaborate.
You know what? It's nothing that the items in the shop and the gold in my pocket can't get past. I am
No,
looking
but
for.
just because you asked, I will go very deep into detail of who and what I am. Only
Mm.
because you have so much interest in me. I am Bellavos of House Bellavos. My father was named Bellavos. His father before him was named Bellavos. We have passed down this shop for over 1400 years. We have collected items from all around the world. We have stolen items from all around the world. We have traded items from all around the world. And most importantly, we have crafted items all around the world. Me, my father before me, all of us have taken up the role of Bellavos, as there's always a Bellavos needed in the world to maintain the balance of shipments, goods, trades, perhaps even goods and evil. And you see, kind of twirls the end of his mustache as he says it. That last part. Some call us the merchants from above, the blessed traders, the blessed barters, and some just call me Belavos. Does that satisfy your question?
Yes, quite. I don't think I'll have to ask another Belavos for the next 1400 years. That was just
Well, I am
peachy.
glad that you are properly informed. What can I do for you, my friend?
Uh, how's about a bag of holding amongst all these knickknacks? What are those going for these days?
A bag of holding, you say? Let me check my inventory. I am sure I have a few. Do you have any preference? Size, color?
Uh, brown and something I could carry around, or maybe black, or I don't really care as long as you have
Brown,
one.
black, something you can carry around. I'll see what I can do. Well, you know, some people like slings you can put over their shoulder. I heard the strange
Please
uh,
just show me what you have.
pack of fanny. Oh, let me get that out
Oh,
for you in one moment. And he goes behind the desk. It is not a purse, it is a satchel. Comes out a few moments later, and you see that there's three different bags. One is a pitch black satchel. One is a kind of like worn brown, kind of just looks like beat up leather. Um, just like a smaller ish looking satchel. You can fit it like comfortably inside of something else, like another bag if you wanted to. And then there is a smaller kind of pack um, that resembles very much of like something almost like a holster. Looks more like
ooh,
a holster to you. Um, in its size, the very least. The strap doesn't resemble a holster, but the size does. The form somewhat. It kind of looks like someone
as
just
long as it can go on the
remodeled
belt.
a holster. I mean, it has like a belt of its own, but you could like interweave it with your belt.
You know, another
Absolutely,
belt never hurt anybody. Uh,
it
he's
is
gonna
true.
point at the one that's the belt in the holster, and he's like, "That one."
Well, my friend, specifically for you, since you seem to be such a kind soul and interested soul, and we do love interesting people. I'm willing to part with this for, let's say, 400 gold.
You the Mustang coughs, and a little cloud of smoke expels from his body, and he kind of rubs the back of his head. And he's like, "I forgot how expensive things were on Paradise Peak." Ugh.
Well, it is not just Paradise Peak. This is a extraordinarily powerful magical item that can be used to store all sorts of things. And plus, it is rather dangerous to sell to just anybody because if you put two of these together, big boom, astral plane, you can put arrows in it. You open the bag, arrows come flying out. You can put bodies in here. I didn't say that. You didn't hear that from me. You can put fucking shit in here if you'd like. You could spray a house with it. The bag will
Oh,
remain clean on the inside.
point taken. Now, are any of these other ones here cheaper, or is 400 the best you can do?
Oh, this is the cheapest.
Okay, okay, okay. Oh,
You chose the cheapest one.
it's my nature, I suppose. And then he's going to get out his gold pouch, which he does have enough to buy the bag, but barely. And
But not happily.
he will sadly part with the 400 gold.
While you're doing so, can you go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw?
Oh shit, that's not good. Oh, okay, I'm gonna use my inspiration because I rolled a natural
Ooh.
1.
Sure.
A natural 20.
Natural 20, what does that bring you to a total of?
A 21.
21?
That better be enough.
You feel not like a like overall probing of your mind. But you feel something dancing upon the surface of it. as if someone or something is trying to pry deeper. But unfortunately for them, cannot, as your mind is, at the moment, a steel trap. As you slide over the gold, he takes the satchel and goes, "Since you're so kind and so willing to forthcome the gold, would you prefer this in black, brown, chartreuse, vermilion, crimson, purple, maroon?" I
Oh
can keep
wow.
listing colors, but it is essentially whatever color you want. Those are just the common
How's
ones.
about brown is fine.
Very well. And he slides the bag of holding over to you. Enjoy
Mustang.
your purchase.
He's gonna attach it to his person, and he's gonna start moving stuff out of his actual bag into this bag of holding. He's like, oh, the weight off my shoulders. I
Literal
felt
weight
like
off
I'm
your
100
shoulders.
years older. Well,
Looks really
Although,
nice.
unlike the vassal tokens, there is a limit to yours as of the normal bag of holding.
yes, that is fine. He does not
Keep that in
have
mind.
too much.
I know you don't have too much, but like in the future, for like
Yes.
putting minion inside of it, it's
No,
not going to be a comfortable fit.
I don't know if he'd want to put minion in there in the first place.
No, probably not.
Okay. And now, just a DM question: is this hunt for the banjo a futile quest? Is it? Am I within my rights to extrapolate that because he has an acoustic guitar, there is perhaps a banjo out there somewhere?
Me a perception check.
Oh, sweet.
Perception or investigation, whichever is higher.
No, we're gonna perceive. Let's
Perceive?
see.
Well then.
Oh man, a 10.
A 10. As you go to leave the shop's bounds and exit upon the street after acquiring your bag of holding, you do see in one of the display cases what looks like to be a banjo that was not there when you originally looked in the window.
Damn, he went into my mind palace. Well, Mustang will stop in his tracks and he will look at Kipley and he'll be like, Kipley?
We have a mission.
I didn't do it.
Oh, what? No. Do you see that?
I didn't do.
And he's gonna point to the banjo.
What do you need me? Do you need me to fire something at it?
Oh, no. I've been looking for one of those and I thought maybe it was too good to be true.
Do you want me to steal it?
I don't know about that.
I
mean,
certainly don't know about that. I can hear you while you're in my store at any place, point
Yeah.
in time.
Do you want to give it
I'd
to
like
us?
Certainly not. That is a very powerful magical artifact.
What makes
It
it
is
so powerful?
a banjo of control weather.
Do you know where I could find a regular banjo?
Oh yeah, sure. I got the few in the back they use for enchantment purposes.
Oh, really? Yeah. How much would you sell me? How much for one of those?
Since you are so kind to not even attempt to haggle with me and outright purchase one of my items upon our first meeting, I will include it with your bag of holding.
Oh, God's above! What a wonderful day
But
today is.
with a condition
Oh,
that you return for more items in the future, and I will give you a discounted price.
oh! You had me at discounted, and then he'll wink.
He gives off a big toothy grin where you notice he's missing a lot of teeth and a lot of gold replacements are filled in.
Ooh.
Wonderful. One moment. And he returns a few months later with a fresh banjo in his hands.
Sweet. Okay, he will take it.
Not magically enchanted, but still a banjo nonetheless.
He just wants a banjo because he doesn't know how to play banjo, and he wants to learn.
Hell yeah.
But he will take it and then leave the store. And then as he does to Kipley, he'll say, why was your first thought to steal it? In his shop, in front of him.
No. Well, I mean, that wasn't my first thought.
What was your first thought?
I
That you didn't do it?
no.
He's looking at you expectantly.
She's her ears kind of drop down. She just kind of grips them and pulls them down.
Now, if we're
Oh.
gonna steal things, we gotta be real sneaky about it, okay?
Right?
Why do you look so pitiful? I'm not mad at you.
I didn't know I looked pitiful.
I mean, what do you think you look like?
I'm a big, strong woman.
Oh, Kibble, that's not what I meant. You are a big, strong woman, the strongest I've ever met, and maybe even one of the smartest. The way you were able to smooth talk your way through the guild hall, I could not have done better, and I have not seen finer work in years. Oh, don't feel down, Kipley. That's not what I meant. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
All right. Well, I'm glad you got the things you needed. Sorry we went on a bit of a walkabout, but, you know, now we've seen the city, right?
Exactly.
And we didn't
And I
get
need to get my
accosted.
we did not get accosted, and that is something I could get used to. These I don't is it normally so rough around here? Getting involved with these hardlods?
I mean,
Damn it.
my experience is pretty much everywhere. You know, people just kind of want to beat you down.
Ugh. You know, you ought to come with me on some of my more Mustangy adventures. I promise you they're a lot more joyful. Maybe this Sharklandia thing will have to be more cheery.
Yeah,
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe.
You know, maybe don't call the adventure by your name. It makes it a little weird.
Well, I'm sure you've been on some Kipley adventures.
Hmm. Oh, look, I think this is the way back.
Mhm. And as you pass by George's Bakery, you run into the rest of the group as they're conveniently in the Cloud District, leaving around the same time.
Rictus is still at the beach, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, Rictus is having his moment alone. You do see Pearl just awkwardly walks up next to you and doesn't say anything for a long time. And then and then after like a good 15 minutes of silence, you hear a crinkle of parchment as she looks down and goes, "Good day, Rictus. How did you rest? Was it well? Are you feeling well?" Well. But you look at that. I too have rested well. And then gives you an awkward smile.
Yeah, I rested pretty good. You read that really well, by the way.
You see the proudest look you've ever seen on Pearl's face. Thank you. I tried. I put a lot of wells in there because it's something like a lot of people who are happy with each other say. They go like, well, nice to see you.
Yeah, it puts off like a positive vibe. I get it.
That's exactly what I'm going for. You just made my
Nice.
day. Honestly, you could not have just said something else that would have made me happier.
Well, good.
See, I did the same thing to Kipley, but she was like so, I don't know, different.
She did. She just expresses it differently than the rest of us.
Okay, so I'm in the right here.
I'm sure she appreciated it.
Got you. Okay, cool. So that's more of like a her problem, not my communication, because that was good. Gotcha. Perfect. Awesome. Cool.
Well, I wouldn't say her problem, but I understand what you're saying.
By the way, do you like the new armor? Do you like new shields? I know you're a craftsman, a smith of sorts.
Yeah, where'd you get that at?
I honestly don't remember. I remember someone selling it to me. I don't remember the cost. It was actually kind of cheap, but
Really?
it was custom made. Yeah, it was like a really quick job. At least the shield was. The armor was already pre-made, but
Oh,
I
okay.
think they're super cute. Like for scale for chainmail, I was expecting something like way less cute. But like the little like details on it and the decal and the tower shield's so pretty. I mean, blue and gold, am
Yeah.
I right? It just works.
Yeah, I agree. And the way the light comes in off the beach and reflects off of it,
I
yeah.
know. And the best part is, like, most people can't swim that well in like heavy armor, but I'm literally a sea elf, so I could just do whatever I want.
Ah, there you go.
Uh,
Can you do me a favor real quick?
oh yeah, for sure.
Do you mind keeping an eye on Rupert? And then he reaches into the vassalship token and pulls out Minion, sets him down, and he's like, "Can you keep an eye on these two? I need to go check on something real quick, but I'll just be right over there. But I'll come right back."
Yes.
Sure you want me to babysit the ugly baby and the cute little monkey who's a cute little robotic monkey?
Yeah,
You little
just for a
robotic
little
monkey.
bit, just
And
for
you
a
see
little bit.
she's already ignoring you and petting Rupert. He's going, "Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. I could just pick you. Oh, I can't pick you up. Oh, you're really heavy. Oh no, get off me. Get off me." And just begins to get crushed by Rupert
And
as he just begins to
he'll
playing on top of her.
Rictus will kind of walk a good enough distance away to where he can kind of get by himself for a moment,
Sure.
and
You go
then
all the way to the edge of the beach, where there is literally just land sharks staring at you. No other humanoids to perceive.
okay, and then he'll reach into his token and pull out that runestone that was given to him.
Sure.
Check things out.
Yeah. The stone is just as you left it. You see a small inscription upon it. You know, it's not a language that you can read, but it is a pattern that will activate something. It's from it. This looks not something like too unsimilar for what you've like gotten in the past.
Hmm.
It's essentially like close to what you could imagine to be almost like a speaking stone. Someone's voice is left within it.
Hmm. Can I
So yeah.
tell how to activate it or anything? Or
Uh, for sure, you just know you just need to run your finger across the runes.
okay, yeah, he'll do that.
Yeah. As you activate it, you see the runes briefly light up, and a kind of like bluish tinted arcane energy emits from them. And you watch as the stone dissipates in your hand to dust, and the dust forms into what looks like to be a small humanoid woman. It's hard to make out the details because she's made of dust, but
Mhm.
um, it looks to be elven in nature. Um, you don't see any like uh, real signs of like age, but you do see that she looks to be wearing a rather elegant gown, and she looks up to address you, and you hear, "To whomever finds this rune, a boon has been granted upon you. There is an upcoming raid in roughly about 2 months' time, and if you have found this at your doorstep, you have been invited. The Carolyn sisters will be hosting the yearly raid upon the Monarch of Monsters. We have found an S-class Titan wandering about the Shroud, outer rim of it, and it is rapidly approaching Paradise Peak. It won't be there in a year's time with how slow it's traveling, but a slaying of a monster so mighty will surely reward yourselves with both reputation, rank, and all the root and lovely bits and pieces of its corpse that you can pillage before it sinks into the depths. Simply find this rune's partner, and if you're skilled or blessed enough to already have found it, meet at the location marker saved within its stone. Good luck, and hope to see you soon. Ta-ta! And the stone reverts back to its normal form.
Rictus is just kind of looking at it in awe, like He'll put it back into his token.
For sure.
And
Go ahead and give me a history check, please. To
history.
take in that
Whoops.
information.
Ugh.
24. God damn.
24.
Virtus's history checks hit like
Not
every time. He just
bad.
doesn't miss. 24 is pretty damn good. So for one thing, despite you not being a vassal, you've actually heard of raids before.
Okay.
This isn't like raiding or pillaging a village or anything like that. You know that vassals and adventurers, mercenaries, basically anyone who is willing to put their lives at stake, rarely do large groups, and they form large groups, excuse me, to go on a mission that is beyond just a singular party. It is normally to fight a either like world-ending event, to take on like a large nest of monsters, or to like uproot evil from an entire city that's been taken over, something like that. A massive scale event. Those who try and formulate raids will drop by like little almost like scavenger hunts to see if those who are both strong and intelligent enough can actually find them, and once they do, they pass the qualifications to be a part of it.
Interesting.
So you have the first part of what this is.
Yeah, just gotta find the second.
You have to find the second, which you know, when you're around the second stone, the two attract.
Oh.
It is very much like God, what's a good reference that I can use? While they're not like physically drawn to each other at long distances, at short range, it will begin to basically pull you towards the other. As
Gotcha.
far as the Carolyn sisters go, you are not like intimately familiar with the name. In fact, kind of like scratches at the back of your head that like maybe you have, but it's just not coming up right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not something like you would immediately like be like, ah, yeah, no, Carol sisters, I know them for sure. It's just something that like maybe if maybe you had someone else to bounce the name off of, or if you like perhaps asked one of the sponsors, they might know, but just with your current knowledge, can't quite remember it.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, the rewards for the raids that have taken part of in the past, can range anywhere from what could be known in this world as very rare items to legendary. It is high risk, high reward, uh, and again, as they said, yearly. They don't happen very often.
Okay.
But you got an invite to one.
Nice.
Or at least Arlen did, and he passed it on to you. But yeah,
Yeah, he'll have it back in his token, and he'll kind of slowly start walking back.
you see Pearl has given up and is starfished on the sand as Rupert just kind of sits on her chest, and it's just dog staring her as she stares back. I'm not giving up, Rupert. You're gonna have to do more than this.
Minion drooling on her.
Minion's just kind of awkwardly staring at both of them, and like Minion looks like an actual lost child. Like they just keep looking around constantly for Reese, and Reese is nowhere to be seen. And the more that they look, like the more anxious that they get, and they just start like digging holes in the sand randomly. And by the time you get back, Minion has partially buried himself.
We'll scratch him on the head as he walks by him if he can, or whatever is showing out of the sand.
Oh yeah, no, you can pat his head.
Okay.
He's at perfect pat level. I think he's about the same size as you.
Yeah. Well, Pearl, I see you and Rupert are getting along.
I don't know if he's trying to kill me, assert dominance, or just fuck with me, but either way, he weighs a lot for a small monkey.
That he does, for sure.
You see Rupert kind of looks up at you and slowly gets off Pearl and kind of shimmies up to your side. This Pearl kind of dusts herself off and gets back up on her feet. So we're off doing marrow killing, right?
I believe
That's the
so.
plan.
Yeah. Just waiting on everybody else to come back, and then I guess we'll go do our thing.
Nice. And then just awkwardly stands there for another like 10 minutes. But the rest of you, as you all meet up in the Cloud District, are you heading on to the beach? Anything else that you like to do? What's the plan, Stan?
Hmm. I think we probably just all meet up together.
Sure. All right, leaving the Cloud District behind, you head on down to the beach. We're now, it's probably about 9-ish, 10-ish in the morning. After traveling back and forth between the Cloud District, all those events taking place, and then meeting back up with Rictus. It's about 10-ish by the time that you get to the beach, and you can see that Pearl is just awkwardly standing next to Rictus, who is awkwardly standing and looking off into the distance. Well, 16 sharks play amongst themselves. But yeah, as you guys approach, Pearl kind of immediately turns around with like a almost look of relief, like thank God I'm not awkwardly standing here alone anymore, and goes, "So, how did Nordstrom go? How did everything go? Is it awesome? Are we good? Are we gonna go murder some marrow? What's up? Also, how are we getting there?"
Oh, we have flappers that we used last time. Do you not
Yeah,
have one?
but it's like underwater
Oh, I see what you're saying.
for the caves, because I assume these guys don't live on, land, despite the name, Landsharkians.
So
Hmm.
you're coming with us then?
I'm not leaving them behind.
Hmm.
I assume like maybe like Mustang wasn't coming with us. The name says like the Six, and he's not fully part of the group yet. But hey, if he wants to tag along, we can be the
Oh.
7 for the time.
Yeah, sure. We could be the 7.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Cool. So how many guys can actually like swim?
Reese
Huh?
kind of nods her head towards Pearl. You know I can swim.
I know you can. Still can't speak Aquan though for some weird reason. Um, anyone else?
Couldn't y'all just hold your breath?
They would die.
Oh, whoops.
I mean, most sea creatures don't live that close to the surface, and if we're dealing with underwater caves, I mean, it just makes sense that
How long do you think the dive is?
Mm.
Where is our land shark companion mammoth?
Um, they're somewhere around here.
We could use some more information so we can prepare for this.
Yeah, sure. I can talk with Reggie if you don't want to waste a spell slot.
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Oh, do they?
you can just give me like things you want me to ask or say, and I can communicate it in basic Landsharkian. It's not technically Landsharkian. I can just speak with all like sea beasts, but it still works.
Seems useful.
Yeah.
She looks
Any
at
beast of a swimming speed.
Kipley when she says useful.
Kipley's trying to ignore everything that's happening right now.
Fuck this shit
I guess we should figure out how long it would take to swim to the next pocket of oxygen for those who aren't going to be able to. And if it's too long, then look at some possible apparatuses or spells that could help us.
Sure. And you see she looks at Reggie and then makes a bunch of clicking noises with her tongue, and then Reggie responds to a bunch of clicking noises back and forth. It goes on for a few minutes, and after she goes, "Cool, okay." Shark says that it's probably gonna be about a 10-minute dive from the surface. Which doesn't sound a lot, but they swim pretty fast, so keep that in mind. Um, it's probably anywhere in the range of like 900 feet ish.
Would they be open to us, say, holding their dorsal fin to speed our own descent, solving some of the oxygen problem?
Looks back a few times.
They don't really like that. I already.
They said that you can't ride on them, but they wouldn't mind propelling you.
Yeah.
I think the issue of breathing, though, is still brought up because that's 10 minutes of not taking in air. And they said that parts of their caves has air in it, or at least have it said they have like a lack of water. But that's not like a guaranteed, like it's only 10 minutes. It could be longer.
I'm just thinking, like, for myself, I absorb oxygen through my skin. I could, in theory, act as oxygen for the others.
You're not kissing my wife.
She's not the one I'd be interested in.
Oh.
How am I?
Pearl immediately blushes.
I'm just sitting here. How did I?
Whoa. No offense, but I am married. Not saying that you're not attractive, but that like no.
Oh,
I mean, if
hon,
you could,
don't
I
get
mean,
too
I'm just saying,
flustered.
like, if you passed it on to me, I could pass it on to her. Actually, wait, I can brief too. Like, I could
Yeah.
just pass it on to her. Yeah, no,
Bas-
I guess that's fine if everyone's fine with like making out.
She kind of looks to the other people. Anybody have qualms about sharing oxygen?
I mean,
Kipley, I'll do you.
I'll do you.
Kipley's like just
Whoa.
staring at the sand, her eyes getting wider and wider, and she just mumbles at one point. She's like, "Yeah, I know, Ezrin. That's exactly how STDs are transported."
Remember, Kipley, don't do it without protection.
I know.
It's not worth it. Even in the shadow realm. Yeah, no. It
In
sounded like
theory,
the. Oh God.
I have an hour of water breathing, so I should be able to provide oxygen.
Yeah, that can work if everyone is willing to accept the transportation of oxygen from mouth to mouth.
I think Mammoth can climb on Bruce, right? Or nah?
Yeah,
Alright.
you do have your portable
My
Brucerine.
portable submarine.
Yeah.
You've also seen a shark now, or land shark now, haven't you?
Yeah, but
Sadly, cannot until
rules
he
and
reaches
shit.
a high enough level. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. There you have
Swim
that.
speed, baby.
Wait, DM, quick question. This is a vassal thing that we're doing, right?
Yeah, this is official vassal work. Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna spend a gold piece to contact my sponsor.
Mm-hmm. You
Okay.
call up Ada.
Yeah.
You hear ding. Thank you for using the line. Ada, draw card is currently unavailable. Please hold. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Ada Drakar will be with you in one moment. Thank you. Your call is valued to us. Dun 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 dun.
Is this out loud?
A few moments go by. This is just in her head. This is
Okay.
the sending spell. Hey, kid, what can I do you for? Sorry, it was in the middle of a meeting.
Cool. Hey, hope you're doing well. Doing
Mhm.
official vassal work. Can I get a scroll of water breathing?
What's the job?
clearing out fucking things. I don't remember what their name. Jared doesn't remember what their name is.
Jared does remember what their name is. It's a long name for a creature. Marrow. It's Marrow.
Clearing out Marrow.
Marrow contract. Rightio. This is gonna be like a one-time thing in and out. You're not gonna be spending multiple days down there.
Hope not.
Cool, got you. You registered this at the guild.
Sure did.
All right, let me check my assistant for 2 seconds. I'll get right back to you. Please hold. Dun, 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 dun. Your call is very valuable. Please stay on the line. It cuts out after the minute goes by.
Fuck, I'll put another gold coin in.
Thank you for continuing to collect call. Dun, 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 dun. It's just the same beat over and over again. And when she picks back up, yep, no, got you. It's confirmed for the 6th. That's a cute little name, honey. Yeah, for sure. I can send you in one. It obviously the deductible's gonna come off. That's fine. Perfect. Do you want one or do you want two to be sure? Just in case you get
How-
stuck down there.
How much would it take off from the in payment?
A very minor sum, only 2%.
Okay, cool.
And it's actually your
Uh,
first time lending, so it's only gonna be 1%.
Oh, thank God. Yes, 2, please.
All right, no worries, hon. It'll show up in your vassal token in a little bit, okay?
Thank you.
Also, in-game question: do you still have the cube of calamity?
Oh shit.
Because I'm
Uh,
pretty sure you do.
Dude, fuck.
Cool. Just be very careful with my sister down there. The cube is waterproof, so she won't drown. But if you do let her out under the water, if it does break or something happens to you, we will lose a very valuable piece of evidence. And my
Shit,
sister. She should be
you're
fine, though.
right.
The cube's basically indestructible. It's gonna take a lot to break.
Oh fuck, you're right. You're right. I'll turn to the rest of the party. Hey, so guys, listen. I have good news and I have complicated news. Which one do you want first?
I'm still on call, by the way. I can hear all this.
Okay, good.
Just want to let you know.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. I got you, honey.
What's the good news?
The good news. I have scrolls of water breathing coming, so we don't have to make out with people. Uh,
See Pearl give a disappointed look.
You guys are all very touchy-feely about the making out thing. It's a breath. People would do the same thing if you were going to drown. It's a functionality thing.
Listen, I'm not shaming your kink. So that's you. No, but just for the sentiment of we don't know how long we're going to be down there, and if we get into a fight in the water, I don't necessarily think that we'd have the time to exchange breath. So
Yeah,
just
it's
to play
not
it
really
safe.
smart or sanitary.
Sanitation
You
wasn't
hear
the
Ada
thought.
call out
We're
from the
in
side.
ocean water that is salted. It's actually fairly sanitary.
Well, no, I'm talking about you guys don't know where each other have been, but that's a conversation for you guys.
You're in my head.
Sorry, Meg. Continue.
No, Ada says it's not sanitary.
Yeah, only Jerry, only Maeve hears this.
Also, I got away with it one time. I can't do it again. Um, if we could potentially uh waylay for just a little bit longer, I have to box up the lady that tried to kill me, and beat her ass. Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to do that for out of game. Like, this isn't technically leaving the island.
Oh, thank God
So,
it's not.
yeah,
Okay,
no,
never
no,
mind.
no. You don't have to do that right now. That's more of Ada reminding you that you have a very important asset, and like, just like a general, don't fuck it up and lose. Like Harold's most wanted under the sea, where it'd be very hard to recover.
Oh God, cool.
It's
Never
not. You have to
mind.
go fight to the death.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. All right, this isn't technically
If you got a
an
call from
island.
your grandfather, that would be the conversation.
Ah, shit. Yeah. I'll be right back. She's dropping the thing off in my token. I have to go put this very dangerous thing back in the only place that is safe. Uh, yeah. And she's gonna
And as you
put it
say
on
that,
her
you get a little notification from your vassalship token that 2 scrolls of water breathing have been entered inside of them. I mean, dropped off inside them. Excuse me.
I'm going to take it out and hand one to each of our resident water breathers. So one to Pearl and one to Reese.
Sure. All right.
I'll be right back.
And you're gonna go drop off Calamity
To
where?
Mama Dearest.
To Mom. Okay. Um, this isn't like a quick jog back, by the way. You have to go all the way up the mountain and all the way back. So like Maeve says, I'll be right back. You have to wait like an hour. But you go and drop it off with your mother, who is ecstatic to see you, and goes, "Oh, hi, darling! It's so nice to see you. Did you already return from your day trip?"
Nope. All right, Mom. Listen, I'm dropping something very responsible off to you. I need you to take care of this and get it to Grandpa. Okay?
Oh, sure. What is it, honey?
It is the person that tried to kill our family.
Oh no!
Yeah.
As you hold out pocket monster version of Calamity, who is like sitting cross-legged, angry now, and just looks up at both of you and goes, "If time was silent above."
I just shake her real quick.
She goes, "Every day that I'm in here, that's another day I plan how to kill both of you. Just remember that." And then immediately your mother takes it, shakes up a little bit, and goes, "Sorry, I don't believe I can hear what you're trying to say. Your voice is echoing in there." And she goes, "Oh, don't. I'll be fine, honey. Don't worry. I'll drop it off on your grandfather's desk."
Also, have you spoken to Sister?
I actually haven't seen her recently. Um, After the attack, she was rather shaken up, and she went down to. And she kind of looks off the cliff where you can see your grandfather's training facility. I haven't really seen her since. I don't know if she's trying to work through something or not, but she didn't seem like herself when she left. And I am worried.
Maeve will place a hand on her shoulder and she'll say, "As far as I know, you've birthed 2 daughters, and one you know of, and I think it's time to learn and meet the new version of your second daughter. I think you will be very excited.
Why are you
And
saying this? Did she come out? Is she gay or something? Like, I'm fine with that. I supported you. Like, this is a very weird way to bring it up.
oh, I don't know. I don't think I've actually never talked to. You know what? That's for later.
It's a
I have to go.
conversation.
Yeah, I have
Oh,
to
can you
go.
check on her on your way down? You're already headed down.
Yep, I
Real
will.
quick, just stop in, see if she's still alive.
Yes, ma'am. I will
For
do
me,
so. I
thank
will.
you.
Okay, I love
Do you
you.
need a packed lunch?
No.
Are you sure?
Yep.
You don't know when the next home cooked meal is gonna be coming your way?
Mom, if you can pack it in the next 5 minutes.
That is plenty of time, dear. And you see she sets the Calamity Cube on the counter and quickly goes and gets a variety of different salted meats, which she wraps up in a nice waterproof bundle and hands over to you. This will hold over for at least 2 days, so don't get trapped for more, okay? And boops you on the nose.
Thank you.
Love you, honey.
I love you as well.
Don't forget to check on your sister.
Okay, all right.
Okay, bye. as, you,
Bye.
as you quickly head out and then rush your way the way down the stairs. Just like an extra like 10 minutes down to your grandfather's training his little training house. Um it's technically like a mini monastery, but you know, it not a whole lot of people dedicate themselves there. You show up at the door, and you hear the familiar sound of metal clanging coming from the very same training room that you and Reese once stepped in pretty recently.
I will kind of do the knock before entering.
You knock, and the sounds of metal clashing with metal reverberates from the room. You're not sure if they didn't hear you or if it isn't a person there, but uh, it no response comes.
I'll open the door slightly or slowly rather, and be
Sure.
ready.
I am be ready. You very slowly open the door, kind of like tower shield to the side, peeking your head through it. Um, and you see um about four sets of animated armor, um, all rushing towards what looks like to be a small, almost like a blue, what looks like to be a blue wormling. I you're not quite sure, but it very much looks draconic. Um, as it rushes towards the animated armor sets, you watch as it just clashes claw versus metal, bites the head off of one, throws it to the side as the helm kind of clanks to the ground, and it's just ripping these things to shreds. And you can see your grandfather sitting in his throne at the very edge of the room with a single tear running down his face. As carnage just unleashes. Go ahead and make me a deck save real quick.
Oh God, that's not good. Um, 15.
15? Good. You quickly bring the shield up just in time as an animated armor's like main torso comes flying at you and just ting tung off of your shield onto the ground in front of you, which definitely alerts those in the room to your presence. As the animated armor sets immediately drop to the ground unconscious. You can see your grandfather kind of tilts his head towards you, and the drake very curiously turns its head towards you.
Sorry to interrupt,
No.
grandfather.
Please, my
But
darling granddaughter, please come for but a moment.
she'll come in, looking a bit perplexed.
You see the drake runs up to you and just dog stares into your face. You see like
I,
nostrils kind of flaring, almost like the look of like a excited puppy.
I didn't know you were training the drakes now.
And you see he puts on a bit of a grin. Sierra, you may drop your form. And you watch as the drake, which is just excitedly like panting in front of you, calms, looks towards him, and immediately unwild shapes back into your normal elven sister, who now has pure golden eyes, and looks at you like an excited girl who just got told she's going to Coachella. And you can see she goes, Dave, and just bear hugs you. When I say bear hugs you, I mean bear hugs you. The strength that she hugs you with is almost slightly concerning, as before she could barely lift anything whatsoever. She couldn't even lift a longsword.
Okay,
Oh,
awakenings do
I've
numbers.
missed you. Where have you been? I've been down here for days, beating the absolute shit out of these puppets. Excuse me for my language, grandfather. But I'm faster now. I'm stronger now. I am quite wise, and most importantly, I can turn into dragons.
That's phenomenal.
Isn't that so cool?
Yeah. Holy
I mean,
shit.
I wasn't expecting that people turn to dragons because it's like not my thing. I haven't shown like any draconic aspects, and the dragons kind of hate me. But now I can turn into them. But also, I can do a really cool thing where I don't just turn to dragons. I can turn into minor celestials. Isn't that
Okay.
awesome?
That is.
Do you want me to turn to a Pegasus?
Let's
do it.
not. Okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, let's conserve that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's amazing. So you've finally awakened?
It took so long. I mean, so long. I didn't think it was gonna happen, but and you see your grandfather kind of like pounds his fist into the side of the throne, and she immediately stops and looks towards her and goes, "Sorry, sorry." And he goes, "My beautiful grandchildren, approach." And she bows her head and walks up to him, sitting down at the left side of the throne.
Maeve will approach, kind of, I guess, kneeling in front, or opposing, whichever one seems most appropriate in the moment.
It's up to you.
Uh, kneel in front like a knight to a king.
As you kneel in front, he goes, "Please," and gestures to the right side of the throne.
Yeah. She'll approach the right side.
And as you both kneel on opposite sides, watch as he takes one of each hand and puts it on top of your heads. This is a day that I feared would never come. A day that I feared would escape me before my lifetime was over. Now every living relative and descendant of mine is an awakened being. Do me proud. Surpass your mother, surpass your father. And one day hopefully surpass me, if not on your own, but together. It is not an easy challenge I put towards you. But if it was an easy task, I feel you would not undertake it. Kind of holds both of your chins. I do not know how much longer I have left on this plane. I want each of you to know. You can see he pauses and another tear goes down his eye. Made me rather proud. You're both grown into excellent women. And I hope you can grow into even stronger, more competent, more powerful, more exuberantly beautiful Dambalas. And looks towards you, Maeve. And sees the pack launch in your hands. Seems you've already something to do. Feel free to leave us for now, my dear. I will continue to raise this little calf.
She is not yet ready to stand on her own, but she now has the potential to.
Yes, sir. And she'll kind of bow, a bit shaken by seeing her grandfather cry.
This is the
Uh,
first time you've ever seen him cry. Even at your own sister's birth, you've not seen him cry.
Man, it's like she's shaken, frightened, feeling a mix of emotions, but kind of maintains the composure at least enough
Also,
to.
the first time he said he's proud of you in a long time. So,
Yeah,
very mixed, yeah.
emotions. Uh, and she kind of like leaves, and doesn't know how to feel, so she just kind of she jogs it out. She fucking uh begins to hit fucking gassers halfway through.
Sure.
And she's like, I don't know how to process emotions,
Uh,
so I'm gonna
as you
work out.
begin to run off into the distance, you hear footsteps pounding behind you as Sierra chases you down uh, and kind of runs up alongside of you. And now, like before, every single time you raised her, she would be dead within the first few minutes. And you see she had to run quite a ways to catch up to you and is now holding pace with you and goes, Maeve, thank you. And just kind of reaches out to like awkwardly hug you while running and then immediately realizes that's not a thing that can happen and kind of puts down her arms awkwardly. Sorry. Um, what you said meant a lot to me. And it really woke me up. Physically and mentally. I don't have to be you. I'm gonna do my own thing. And if that's changing into Pegasus or Drake's, I think I'm gonna explore what that entails. Get it, tails? Both of them have tails.
Yeah, yeah. Um, she she'll stop and kind of look at her sister. Um, you know, the rumors of our people long ago say that they held connection to nature, and it may be possible that you are revitalizing a very old tradition, even older than.
Oh yeah, no, grandfather gave me the druid talk. Apparently we're very rare and like not a lot of us exist anymore. Which is kind of a bummer because I don't have anyone to teach me how to like properly use this shit. But it also means I can technically like start my own little circle.
Yeah, I mean, you could become an. I don't know what the height of your practice is. I don't know what they called it.
You mean like the archdruid?
Yes, that's the
That's what,
name for it.
that's
Yeah,
what grandfather referenced. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, it's been a while, and they are
Oh,
rare, as you said.
so I don't have to be like, oh shit, I don't have to be like a. Oh my god, that makes so much sense. I don't have to lead like Dumbala clan like you do. I can just be an archdruid. That's way less of a responsibility.
Grandfather is currently probably looking for another clan to marry you to, so just
Huh?
don't get too hasty.
What now?
Nothing.
Oh, but wait, and she goes, you have to go somewhere?
Yeah, we are going to clear out some marrow.
Oh, well, I don't know how far it is, but I feel kind of bad for making you go out of your way for just stopping by and saying hi. If you don't want me to personally give you a lift there, I can send one of my new friends to get you. She'll get you there real quick.
Hell's yeah. It's
Awesome. And you watch she takes out a necklace that you know belongs to your mother, as it's extraordinarily valuable, and holds it up to this guy and begins chanting in Draconic, which she she knew Draconic growing up. You all were taught it. Before it was very scuffed form of Draconic. This seems a little bit more fluent. And she calls out and spends a 5th level spell slot to cast Summon Draconic Spirit. And you watch as a whole ass dragon just pops up right in front of you. It is a black drake. And it just straight up emerges out of the ether. Lands in front of you, goes, "This is Tav. She's my new favorite companion. She's
Dog.
very nice. She is a little feisty, a little judgmental, but she goes really fast and has a great sense of humor."
Amazing. In Draconic, I'll say, "Hi, Tav."
And you hear, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?"
I'm doing good. It's nice to meet you.
"Nice to meet you too. So where we going today?"
We're going to hunt some marrow.
"Oh shit. Am I gonna be part of that? Or am I just dropping you off?"
I mean, you're just dropping me off, but if you
Okay.
feel like killing a few marrow, I'm not gonna turn it down.
I can't breathe underwater, so that is a problem for me coming along. But
We
I'll
have
be
a
happy to
scroll.
escort you there.
Yeah, we have a scroll.
Oh, good. I don't know what that does or what a scroll is, but I'll drop you off anyway. Get on my back.
Yeah. And I'll hop on the Drake's back.
Ah, isn't it great to wish for different times? Let's go! And soars off into the sky. And you get to the beach much quicker. No foot traffic, no gates, no tolls. And you get there about 10 minutes. It would have been a full hour's journey back. Y'all see Maeve pull up on a black drake and just land, sending sprays of sand all across the beach as the drake just kind of full on doesn't even try and slow down the landing, just full gas into the sand, plows into it. You probably think this is Tav's first time landing. And slowly skids to a stop just at the ocean line. As shoreline, excuse me, as the water kind of slowly drifts over her paws. She leans down and lets you hop off and goes, "All right, well, I need to go get back to Kira, but it was nice meeting you, Maeve."
It was nice meeting you as well, Tav.
"All right, have a good one."
You too, be safe. Don't let the other drakes push you around.
"Oh, don't worry. I get along pretty well." And see, she stops and looks at a small spot in the sand and goes, "Is that blood? No, never mind." And then flies off into the distance. Sorry,
Look at
just
the
had to get one more reference. That was just Baldur's Gate. There's nothing.
Oh, okay, cool.
2 for 1. But yeah, they fly off into the distance. You return, no calamity in hand, but 2 scrolls of water breathing and a lot of mixed emotions.
Yeah.
And with that, we all head off. Land Sharkians leading the way. And I pull up. Land Sharkians leading the way as you take off into the sea in front of you. Are you going to swim with them the entire way, or are you going to use your lappers to follow them from above? Because they're offering to essentially let you hold on to one of their fins, and they can drag you with them, or you can just fly above, cast the spell, and then go under.
I mean, I'm gonna cast a spell as soon as I get back, or suggest because I did hand it off to two other people.
Mhm.
Since it lasts like 24
It
hours.
does last 24 hours, yeah.
Yeah. I suggest, hey, someone want to pop that bad boy now?
Sure, yeah. I can pop it. Let me see. How many creatures can you choose up to? 10 willing creatures. Hell yeah. There's not 10 of you, so you are completely fine. And the best part is your companions do not need to breathe. So you do not need to cast it on them. As
Rupert
Rupert
will
and
sink like a rock.
Minion both do not need oxygen. So, yeah, Rupert is going to sink, which is going to be awesome for getting him down. Really annoying for getting him up. Probably want to suck him in the vassal token.
Oh yeah, for sure.
On that way. But all of you receive the benefits of water breathing. Let me see the details real quick. Yep, I thought so. You can breathe normally, but also just gain the ability to breathe underwater. No other special effects for 24 hours. Gotcha. What were you saying, Reese?
Oh, it's up to 10 willing creatures. I wasn't saying anything.
Mhm. Oh,
But-
sorry.
But I didn't realize his scroll could cover
It
that
can
many people.
cover everyone, yeah.
Okay. So actually, Victus is covered. Good.
So, with all of that in mind, are we lappering above, or are we swimming with the sharkies?
Reese put minion in her vassal, and then her vassal token, and then take her lapper.
Rictus would use the lapper.
Mammoth would swim next to you.
Alrighty, we got one swim with the sharkies, the rest lappers.
Lappers.
Hell yeah! So, as you all take flight, lappers in hand, and shark fin in hand, let's see who hasn't done one yet. Mayf, have you rolled a D100 yet? For determining ocean travel?
If I say yes, will I have to do it?
If you say yes, I'm gonna choose someone else. I don't think you have.
Yeah, I haven't.
Well, my dear Maeve, my beautiful Dumbala, go ahead and roll me that D100 as we head on out on your adventure.
I'm gonna go ahead and F5 right here.
The entire world freezes, and all of you are very concerned as you are stuck in motionless travel over the sea. We've gotten extraordinarily high numbers. Ooh, that's an extraordinarily low number.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. This could be very helpful or very bad. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in total. Okay. Can you go ahead and roll me a D8? Two. 1, 2. Convenient. Okay. Um, that is such a fun one to pair up with this. Cool. Cool. As you begin your travel over the water, um, again, it's only a few hours journey out. With lappers, you can get there in about an hour and a half. Flying over the water, the sharks and land sharkians, excuse me, all travel in their little pod. Mammoth in the center of that little pod, all going forward at pretty high speeds, keeping up with you guys. And as you follow them to the destination, you get to the point where they stop and start circling, waiting for you to get down with them. And one by one, you drop into the water with them as they urge you to follow. And as you all enter the water to begin your descent, uh, who here has a passive perception above 15? No, Pearl does. I know Rictus does. Mustang does. Maeve does.
Reese doesn't.
Okay, so just Reese, and
Mammoth
Kipley. Reese, Kipley, and Mammoth. So that's very funny for Mammoth. As you're already in the water. So Reese, Kipley, and Mammoth, you guys don't notice anything. The rest of you, as soon as you get in the water, begin swimming down with them in this rapid descent, which is being aided by them. Kind of like you're taking their fins and going down with them, as they said they could help propel you down. You notice the speed at which you descend. It starts off pretty fast, like you're going like down 30 feet per 6 seconds, and then you start going down 60 feet, and that carries on for a good probably like 50 to 100 feet drop, until all of a sudden, those of you with 15 passive and above notice that there is a strong sensation that almost seems to be yanking some of these sharks down. And you watch as a number of the land sharkians go from about a 60-foot descent to roughly about 100-foot descent per 6 seconds, as some of them just vanish from your vision to the darkness below. And I need every single person here to go ahead and make me a strength saving throw.
Oh no.
I crumble.
We got ourselves a whirlpool, baby.
Ooh.
Very useful in the
Damn.
fact that it's going to send your asses to the bottom, but this is going to determine who gets sent further than where you are trying to go.
Oh no.
Reese is getting
Rip.
fucking sent. 1, 6, 4, 10. Oh no. Okay, Mammoth makes sense passing as you're like latched on to Reggie. Maeve,
also
yeah,
makes
you're good.
sense.
Maeve also makes it the absolute tank herself. That makes sense. Pearl physically has to roll a 15 on the die or higher. She is a whopping +0.
Damn.
Oh.
Cruel world. Cruel world.
A truly cruel world for Pearl. Justice for the poor girl. Cool. Is that everybody? I think so. Okay, so I'll tell you what happens. As you all begin your descent, you see some of the land sharks getting pulled down, and you hear Reggie quickly making click noises of distress, which you can't understand because you don't have Speak with Animals up right now. And you watch Mammoth and Maeve as every single one of your party members, besides yourselves, get sucked down into the darkness past the 1,000-foot level, which is literally a barrier of almost pure pitch dark. Like once you get to that level, you can barely see within like a 10-foot radius in front of you, and you watch as every single one of them is sent beneath that point. And you look behind you and you can see the cave entrance to where some of the Landsharkians are gathering around. Now, before we get to what happens to those below, what do you two do as you're just kind of left hovering above the whirlpool as it subsides?
I'm looking at Maeve for directions.
What the fuck just happened?
Maeve is going to say, "All right, buddy. So here's the thing, right? One of us has to live, and I am
Wait, are we
prone
underwater?
to save people."
Oh, yeah.
So, are they actually having a conversation right now?
With water breathing, I believe it allows you to have... It's not like a hard rule, but I'm not even sure like the soft rule most DMs go with is that
Just
being
allow
able
it.
to breathe water allows you to speak underwater, so we don't have to deal with the hassle of
Okay.
all the time.
Fair enough.
You can do that absolutely if you wish, but it's not required.
You go with the land sharks and stay